Lonesome Road Blues on page 48 starts off with a fairly straightforward melody for the first 16 measures. The improvs begin at measure 17. From there, the next two solos are strung together licks, thus leaving the melody behind altogether. There are a few new techniques in this tune, in the form of double notes and up-the-neck acrobatics. In Volume 1, I mentioned how most of the solos stick mainly to the first 5 frets. Well, shucks. All bets are off at this point in the game, folks. Our first surgical dissection will be on the bottom line of page 48, the third measure in, which is measure 27. Let me play this for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first note of 28 we stopped on. Perhaps the hardest thing to coordinate is on the third beat. It's a 3rd fret bar on 3rd and 2nd strings. Close it in here. In and of itself, that's easy enough. It's the hammer on the 3rd string, 4th fret, while holding down the bar that complicates the situation. The 2nd string continues to ring within the bar, so don't allow the hammer to cut it off. Like that. No good. You want to hear that harmony. Let me play that measure 27 just one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we'll move over to page 49. 3rd line down, 3rd measure in, which is measure 39. First, watch my fretting hand as I play measure 39 and 40, starting at a bar on 1st and 2nd strings, 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's zoom in a little more closely on what just happened. Measure 39 and 40 share that same little problematic double note / hammer-on riff that I went over back on the previous page. These kind of licks are reminiscent of rock and roll guitar riffs from the 1950s. I'll play 39 and 40 again, and notice how you never move from that 3rd fret position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving down to the line starting with measure 41, let's put our magnifying glass on the 3rd measure on that line, measure 43. Not to mention measure 44. I told you not to mention that. Here we are at 43. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was stopping on the first note of 45. Pretty tricky fingering, so let me do that for you again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 44 is a G lick from yet another genre known as the blues. Here's just measure 44. 1, 2, 3, 4. That brings us to measures 45 through 48. First listen and watch the fretting hand fingers. 45. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first thing that you need to know about measure 45 is that finger shift. You land at measure 45 on the first beat with third finger at third string, 7th fret. Then you have to, on the next beat, shift your index finger to grab that 7th fret bar, and that sets up your positioning for the double notes that follow. Next, let's separate out measure 46 into a little bit of 47. Again, watch those finger numbers. I don't think this passage would work with any other fingering other than the one shown here. Here we go with 46. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do that even a little slower for you. Maybe I'll move it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you have a nice one measure D walk down to G. G. Now I'll play all of solo 2, nice and slow, from measure 33 to the end. Metronome is at 60. Solo 2, 33. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, here's all of Lonesome Road Blues at a relatively moderate tempo. This is the final tune from Volume 2, but don't forget about the licks review on page 51 and 52. Just a straight 4 count to start you off. The first section may seem a little slow, but once we get into solo number 1, you'll be glad we did it at this metronome marking of 90. 1, 2, 3, 4.